What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Post to Post podcast. This week's episode is episode 63. With me, as always, my co-host Matt Small. You excited for some March Madness, buddy?
Talking about basketball?
No, all this March Madness with the trades and stuff.
Oh, there
Trade
we go.
deadline.
Okay, yep.
I know you don't give a shit about college basketball.
I don't give a shit about basketball.
Yeah. I'm not really too invested in that either. I usually do a bracket this year. I didn't end up doing one, so it is cool to see the upsets. So I like seeing that when like Kentucky gets bounced by some random 15 seed.
You really watch college basketball?
Yeah, March Madness is huge. Yeah, it's on at like all the bars when you're out. You know,
Oh, shit.
St. Patrick's Day fell on the opening day too, which is huge. So that's like all that was on the TV yesterday.
Talking about St. Patrick's Day, it's been crazy in Boston. I work on the trains.
Yeah.
Yesterday and today is just a shit ton of people going into Boston. Like we said last episode, where we're both like, it's going to be insane here.
The weather's phenomenal today too. I mean, 73 out. That's absurd. It's going to be great golf season soon. We're just itching to get back out there.
We're just waiting. Just waiting. We need to get one of those golf carts, the one you have with like the trailer hitch with the all the beers and sandwiches and stuff.
You don't need a cart girl with one of those. You just have the cart attached to your cart.
36 holes at Strawberry Valley. Let's go.
I could do it.
Yep.
I'd be down. It's only like, oh wait, no, we only do 9. I was gonna say it'd be like $50. It's like $100.
That's not bad.
It's not bad if you think about it. 36 holes. But
I've done 18
that's a long
before
day.
at Strawberry.
Yeah, it's a long day though. 36. That'd be a lot.
Never doing that again.
Yeah. We got kind of crap weather tomorrow, but Sunday should be pretty good. First year back having the St. Patrick's Day parade in 3 years, so you're right. It is going to be a nightmare in the city, so I'll be sure to avoid that. But
100%.
I made sure to get out there and get my stuff done yesterday. No more weekend shenanigans for me. Just one and done with St. Patrick's Day. Love my Guinness.
You gotta
smashed a million of those.
You gotta get it done quick around this time. You know?
Yeah.
Those Sundays, if you're not into the whole St. Patty's Day parade and drinking outside, just lock your doors and stay in the house and pray to God everything. You have the food for the rest of the week.
Yeah,
know?
I actually had a boiled dinner today too. Corned
really?
beef. Yeah, corned beef.
It's a thing
carrots,
around
potatoes.
here.
Yeah,
I had it once.
Guilty
a couple of
pleasure.
years ago, and I hated it.
Yeah, it's not something everyone likes. It's an acquired taste, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
But we got some trade deadline news to talk here. We're going to start with the signings and the people that are not actually moving at the trade deadline. A couple of these teams locked up some guys that they really didn't want to see go to market. So we have the Carolina Hurricanes signing Jesperi Kotkaniemi to an 8-year, $38.5 million contract. That's 58 games played. He has 11 goals, 12 assists, and 23 points.
Dude, he's solid.
Good to see him locked up, man.
Yeah.
That's like a $4.9 mil contract, I think, something like that. So AAV. So pretty cool to see. Good value for him.
Good move from Montreal to Carolina. And
Yeah.
Carolina right now is they're in the mindset of locking good players up since they become one of the better teams in the league.
Yeah,
you know?
100%. The Avalanche signed goalie Pavel Francouz to a 2-year, $4 million contract. He has 14 games played this season with a 2.46 and a .920 save percentage.
It's a good move. Francouz has been like I guess, starter kind of goalie for the Colorado Avalanche this season, especially with the missing link of Grubauer that went to Seattle Kraken.
They moved on from Darcy Kemper as well, right?
Yeah.
No. They still have him or no?
Darcy Kemper, he went to he's one of those goalies that like you could see so many different, like I see like the Arizona Coyotes, I see the Minnesota Wild jersey with them. Darcy Kemper.
Yeah, I think he came from the Wild to the Avalanche, and I think he's still there currently. Yeah, but it does list Francouz as the starter. Kemper has a 2.41 and a .923, so very similar stats. It's hard to have bad stats on a team like the Colorado Avalanche. I was just telling you, they're 10 points in the lead for first place in the West, and they have, I believe, 3 points over the East for the President's Trophy right now. So,
wow.
But it's crazy the gap that you see out West. I think it's Colorado and then the rest of the league, personally. And then lastly, San Jose Sharks inked Tomas Hertl, I should say, to an 8-year, $64 million contract, $8 mil AAV, 60 games played this season, 25 goals, 23 assists, and 48 points. Definitely one of the top producing guys for a struggling San Jose team. They're 26, and 8 through the season, 2-game losing streak right now. But Tomas Hertl's a guy that I always wanted to see stay there and be a long-tenured guy. And I think San Jose is one of those teams that they like to have longer tenured guys. You know, they like the Joe Thornton's to stick around for a while. The Joe Pavelski even, Patrick Marleau. All those guys are long tenured.
Yep.
They have a good strong core, and I think Tomas Hertl's the next step for them.
Yep. They like the veteran guys. Yeah. They love it. Like you're right. All those names and stuff. They are falling apart though. Remember San Jose was like Toronto, where they're just like top in the league in like the Western Conference especially, and then first, maybe second round, they were just out of the playoffs all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on then, because you're right. They were like one of the better teams in the league, and then first round exits every year, just it chipped away at them, and then goaltending started to fall apart with Martin Jones and some other names. But they're just one of those teams that's kind of playoff plagued.
Would you say they're in the middle of a complete like market, rebrand?
No, I don't think so. I think that they have the young guys there. They're not rebuilding per se. They're kind of in the middle, like that weird middle phase where we have the guys that we want on our team. We have the guys that are going to, be part of the next generation. We just need to give them time to develop. We're not looking to like move anything or get any new guys in necessarily, So
want to move on to the trades?
Yeah, we got some a few moves for the trade deadline here. We're recording on Friday the 18th, which is probably the worst day when you look at the trade deadline of Monday, March 21st. We'll be following up next week's episode with anything that happens after these trades.
It's going to be insane the next 2 days.
Yeah.
We're going to miss all of it.
I mean, I think I said it last week, like the 5 hours leading up to the end of the deadline is really when all the work gets done. Like, it's very quiet until about like day 2 or day 1 in the countdown, like when you're getting close. We got probably like 5 or 6 to go over here, though. I'll throw it over to you.
Okay. We have the Anaheim Ducks. They traded defenseman Josh Manson to the Avalanche for defenseman Drew Hellison in a 2023 second-round pick. And then we have the Colorado Avalanche traded forward Tyson Jost to the Minnesota Wild in exchange for forward Nico Sturm.
I don't know too much about either of those trades, really. All I know is Josh Manson's a huge pickup for the Avalanche. He's going to be great for them in the playoffs. Going to provide some grit, some what's the word I'm looking for? Almost like sturdiness on defense.
Right.
A hard body guy that can throw the weight around and fight if you need to. But I think that he'll really just solidify their back end.
I like this trade with Colorado and Minnesota. When we look at the players, you seem kind of even. I think I'm more lean to the side of Tyson Jost here, so I think it's a better pickup for the Minnesota Wild. And I think Colorado, being the team that they are, might be looking for something special that they need to get them in the right direction. And I think Nico Sturm might be that player. You got to give up one to get something else,
Yeah, and I think Tyson Jost, as young as he is, Nico Sturm's even younger. So we've seen a bit of production for him. It's kind of like the known versus the unknown, and I think they see a lot of upside in what Nico Sturm can become in the league. So it's good for them to get some young blood in.
Right.
I mean, you're not trading too far off from Tyson Jost, but as the Avalanche, I would think like we know what we have in Tyson Jost, and we think that we can get something better out of Nico Sturm.
100%. The Florida Panthers traded forward Frank Vatrano to the New York Rangers in exchange for a 2022 fourth-round pick. How do you feel about this? I feel like this is a move to maybe free up some cap space, maybe?
I think Frank Vatrano is a good player to add to the Rangers roster in order to try and get that little bump that they might need to solidify, and maintain the gap and to stay in the playoffs, because those wild card seeds and standings are going to matter quite a bit in a few weeks. Frank Vatrano is a pretty good player. I mean, a fourth-round pick is exactly what Florida probably needs. I mean, they're just so stacked. They're so developed.
Oh, it's insane.
I've heard a lot of rumors. I mean, I don't really want to get too deep into the stuff that you see online and the rumors and stuff, but Florida's looking to make a big move and make a splash in this trade deadline, too. I've heard rumors of Claude Giroux in Philly trying to go there, and that would be insane.
That was my thought, too. That was my thought, too, with this move, because it's just picking up a draft pick, which is why I said why I talked about making some, sort of what I'm looking for here, some moves money-wise where just frees up some cap space for maybe when Claude Giroux comes in, they could sign him.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Like, this year, Frank Vatrano with the Panthers, 10 goals, 9 assists through 49 games. So nothing crazy, but I think he'll be a good fit in that lineup in the New York Rangers with like Artemi Panarin and those other young run-and-gun kind of guys.
Oh, yeah.
I did see, too, Jacob Trouba had a little bromance shout out to him. Back in November of 2011, Vetrano tweeted out and said, "Little silent reading with at Jacob Trouba." And they're in like a classroom in 2011, so like 10 years ago. I don't know what the hell they were doing.
Huh.
And Trouba tweeted in March, he said, "We are so back. Welcome to New York at Frank Vetrano." So that was pretty cool to see. A little bromance like Lucic and Toffoli the other day.
Nice.
So
that's cool. You got me thinking about Claude Giroux. Because didn't he just play his 1,000th game?
He did, yep.
And I think the fans gave him a standing ovation because that might be his last game there. So I think that Claude Giroux move, I think, is definitely coming. We just don't know where he's going.
Yeah, that was part of the deal. I think he wanted to finish his 1,000th game as a Flyer before getting traded, so they made sure to get that done before the trade deadline. I think his father came and read the lineup before the game, too. That was pretty heartwarming.
Oh, nice.
And then he actually didn't travel with the team to Ottawa. They're on an away stand now. So they left him home while they finalized some trade deals. But I think probably by the time we drop this episode, he's going to be on the move, which is awesome and nuts to see. I think I saw that he knocked Boston and one other team off the list, and there were two others, Florida being one of them, that he was willing to go to. So And he might have a no move clause, but I'm not 100% on that one.
Interesting. We got a few more here, too, as well. The Montreal Canadiens traded defenseman Ben Sherratt to the Florida Panthers in exchange for forward Ty oh, my God, I don't know how to say this. It was Smilanic? Is that how you say his name?
I would say Smilanic, but I don't know.
Smilanic?
I have no idea.
A 2023 first-round pick and a 2022 fourth-round pick.
So maybe this is the actual... the Vetrano move made space for Ben Sherratt. Ben Sherratt's a great pickup, good depth, same thing. Kind of like a Josh Manson, like filling kind of guy. That's the way I see it. It's just nuts to see Florida making these moves in general. Like, how are they loading up like this? Their team is already set. They're just so good, and they're just going to add more. It's crazy.
More somehow, yeah. And they have Seattle Kraken traded forward Jean Kruk to the Calgary Flames in exchange for a 2022 second-round pick, 2023 third-round pick, and a 2024 seventh-round pick. So we're getting a lot of picks here. I think a lot of teams here are just realizing maybe trying to move some cap space and try to pick up some good picks and for the future team rebuild,
Yeah, I think the Flames are definitely looking at playoffs and looking to get deep. I mean, that's going to be what we keep touching on this entire trade deadline is just there's buyers and there's sellers at the deadline. And if you're, the top team in the Pacific, you're going to want to buy and just keep adding and, try and find that missing piece that'll put you over the hump to get you through to the Cup Finals. Right. Calle Jarnkrok was like one of the top players for Seattle and one of the top names to go there. It is interesting to see them move on from him, but they got a haul for him. Oh, yeah. Getting three picks in the next few years, it's really going to help to develop the future and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So, good move for Seattle, good move for Calgary. That's a win-win. Little fun fact here, too. Jarnkrok and Elias Lindholm are cousins coming from the same town as Jacob Markstrom. So all three of them are from Gable, Sweden. There's only 75,000 people that live in that town.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool, too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if we're going... Do you have anything Calgary later on this episode? I got a little side note on the coach, Daryl Sutter. He had some notes, too.
Yeah, if you want to do that.
He said when it comes to playoffs, the wild card is just... It's the worst spot you can have in the West because you're going to have to play Colorado. And he actually said, quote, it's going to be a waste of 8 days.
Yeah.
Just like... he just assumes that whoever plays Colorado is just getting swept. It's
yep.
nuts. He also said... They asked him about how he's a contender for the Jack Adams trophy, which is the best coach in the league, and he said that's a regular season award. He's not interested in that, but he would like to win the William Jennings, which is the best goalie tandem in the league. So,
wow, that's awesome.
I thought it was kind of cool to see him call that out.
Right. Yeah, that's cool because we were talking about that in the early stages of the season where you have Jacob Markstrom and Dan Vladar being like the best goalie tandem in the NHL. I mean, they're there.
Markstrom, I believe, has 9 shutouts. I'm going to look that up right now, but that's a ton of shutouts, man. You don't usually see double-digit shutouts.
I'm going to talk about that a little later on.
All right, perfect.
And then the last big one that happened today was the Chicago Blackhawks traded forward Brandon Hagel and a 2022 and 2024 fourth-round pick to the Tampa Bay Lightning in exchange for a 2023 and 2024 first-round pick for Taylor Radish and forward Boris Kachuk. Big move here. I like that. Brendan Hagel is going to be big name in this, and then 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see, right? When you really break it down, they basically they moved on from Brandon Hagel, and they moved their 4th-round picks to become, 1 year later in 22 to 23. But the 4th-round picks that they have become first-round picks.
Yep.
A couple little prospects, but Brandon Hagel's a great addition for Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'm smelling a three-peat here, man. This is ridiculous, just how good this team's going to be. One thing I noticed, too, Chicago's going to look very, very, very weird at this deadline. Initially, they're saying Patrick Kane is not on the market. We're not looking to shop him. And now that they moved on from Hagel, there's rumors that they're willing to shop Kane. If Kane moves, then they're going to move on from DeBrincat as well. And if DeBrincat gets traded, they're going to move on from Kane as well, which is just insane to me. Like, DeBrincat's the future of their organization. What are we doing here?
Right.
But they did get into a little fuck you match in the game the other day. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I think Kane was getting a little hot and was riding on DeBrincat a bit, and DeBrincat told him, I think he just straight up told him, shut the fuck up, and, like, skated away from him. Nuts. So I think that's part of it, but it's also, like, how do you move on from a young star like DeBrincat with what he's done for the team?
Yep. How do you move on from Kane,
I mean, he's towards the end of his career. Like, I see a Claude Giroux moving, I see a Kane moving, so the league's changing a bit, but you could get a good haul for Kane, I think, for a guy that, you can it's basically a loan, You're trading him away, you get in stuff, that he's going to be done soon, and you could get a haul for DeBrincat as well, so we'll see. I just thought it was interesting to see Chicago just almost blowing up their team when things aren't looking so good,
Yeah, I like your mindset there. Yeah. I don't know. Again, we'll be finding out probably when we finish up. We're going to get like 1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Anyway, so with all that said, let's start with high school hockey. The Andover Huskies won the AA Minnesota State High School Boys Championship. They faced the 3rd seed Maple Grove as a 5th seed team and won 6-5 in double overtime. Senior Logan Gravink got the game-winning goal 9 minutes into the second OT. The Huskies win 25-5-1 this season, which brought them to their 3rd tournament in a row. 2 weeks prior, the Andover girls hockey team also won the AA championship, making them just the 2nd high school where the boys and girls won the championship in the same season. That was cool stuff. I think that was the post you sent me where the crowd was just insane. And
dude, that's like the biggest thing. They have an 18,000 seat stadium at the Xcel Energy Center, and they sell that out for a high school tournament. And for a kid to go on and score a game winner in double overtime, that is like the coolest thing in the world. Like, he's going to be a legend in the state now, even if he doesn't go on to do anything else. Like, people are going to be like, that was one of the coolest tournament wins I've ever seen.
You'll see him at the bar, be like, hey, you're that dude. So following up on more high school news, in Harmer Township, Pennsylvania, a game between Charlotte and Latrobe at the Alpha Ice Complex, a fight broke out in the stands. It was between parents, and during the fight, a Charlotte hockey player raced up in the stands to join. It began with a fight between dads with sons on opposing teams because one dad was accusing the other son of playing dirty, and it took it upon himself to go looking for that play after the game ended. The Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League and Charlotte Area School District are investigating the altercation. The PIHL commissioner said they may check the security in the coming weeks because of the Penguins Cup playoffs starting. Another case of hockey parents doing bad hockey parents things.
Yep, classic. There's no other sports league that does anything like this, man. It's just hockey for some reason, and I don't know what it is.
I don't get it at all. You send me posts of just dads just like screaming at referees on the ice. It was like, just let them do their job.
It's absurd.
I don't get it. It's disgusting. Like, just stop. And the fact that one of the dads was just like, I'm going to find this guy's son and fucking have a word-to-word with him for playing dirty on the ice. I'm like, he's a kid. Let him figure shit out on the ice,
Yeah, 100%.
Did you have anything more to that? I might move on.
Yeah, I think the Class A title, too, was won by Hermantown for the Minnesota State tournament. There's like A, AA, and AAA, and the top level, I believe, is single A. Hermantown beats the War Road Warriors. That's a tough one to say. 3-2 for their 4th Class A title. So I just wanted to chuck that one out there too.
Nice.
A lot of cool highlights from that. I think we mentioned last week I can't really stand the hockey hair videos, but that's just me. Everybody in the hockey community seems to love them, so I hope you guys enjoy them, but they're not for me.
Moving on from all that, we have more women in hockey. Goalie Eve Cascon will make her Quebec Major Junior Hockey League debut in Gatineau Olympiques. She will join Manon Rhéaume and Charlene Labonte as the only women to ever play in the QMJHL. She played her best season with the St. Laurent Patriots with 16 games played, 2.81 GAA, and a .899 save percentage. Another break in the sport and first in the NHL, Jordan Spence of the LA Kings made history as the first skater with Japanese citizenship and first Australian-born player to play in the NHL. Cool for these two. I thought that Eve Gascon was I never even heard of her, and all of a sudden, like, we're getting information that she's going to be the third woman to play in the Quebec Major Juniors. So
yeah, for her to play in the QMJHL, that's no joke. I mean, like, it's just growing. That's the next step, and I think eventually down the line, I think we will see a woman that'll play probably goalie in the NHL at some point. I don't know about forward or defenseman personally, but definitely in net, I could see a woman joining the NHL. It'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I thought it was kind of interesting that Jordan Spence was the first Australian-born player to play in the NHL. I believe he plays with the Capitals. This guy Nathan Walker, he's Australian as well, but I think he was born somewhere else and then like moved there when he was really young. So pretty cool to see like the game growing in somewhere that you didn't even know that they had hockey almost. You know?
Right. Jordan Spence is a 2 for 2. Japanese citizenship and Australian born. Actually, I don't know the. Now I'm thinking about it. I don't know the YouTube channel at all. But there's an Australian goalie on YouTube that's playing in the pros right now that has like kind of like a Kazmir Kaskasuo YouTube channel. And I think it's literally only 3 or 4 videos in. I'll put it down here on the bottom. Maybe put it on the description for you guys. I can't remember the name, but it's actually pretty cool. And it's so different because, like, you could tell Australia's like just kind of figuring out hockey. So when he's showing like the rinks and where he works out, you're just like, okay, this is like the beginning of everything, you know?
Yeah, and we talked before too about like in Europe they play it with more like a soccer style. I'd be interested to see how places like Japan and places like Australia, you know, like play their game. Like, do they break the puck out quickly? Are they willing to use their defensemen to work the puck backwards to get out of the zone? Like all those kind of things. We actually had, I think it was the NBA announced that they're going to be doing preseason games next year in Japan as well. So they're looking to expand into the Asian market too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, cool to see.
Yeah, I was wondering that with like Japan and stuff because. I don't know. Do they even have? I don't even know if they even have like a professional league over there. But when they play like the Olympics and stuff, like I wonder what their training's like. Because for like over here, you can watch like NHL games and kind of like be like, okay, they're doing that. Let's work over there. But I feel like over there, it's just like they're doing it on their own, figuring it out on their own. So it could be like a different style compared to us.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they have access to the internet and everything. Like it's not in the same sense where China is. You know, like blocking certain internet access. So, I don't know. I don't know what it's like over there, but that is a thought.
I'd be curious. Talking about hockey expanding, the West Coast Hockey Sports and Entertainment have announced the launch of an elite junior hockey league focused on the western part of the United States. The LA Kings, Sharks, Ducks, and Vegas Golden Knights have offered their support. The league expects to begin in 2023 with 6 to 12 teams. They hope to accomplish what the USHL has done, that is based in the Midwest of the United States. The goal is to grow the sport of hockey and help develop West Coast kids with the highest in-class resources available. This would be cool, and it goes back to what you said about how the Western Conference just lacks. Like, Eastern Conference is just so much better than the West, and I think this might help out a bit.
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, in a sense to that, right, it's like a pros and cons, or I guess more of like a yes and no. Like, the Western Conference teams are still, you know, drafting and developing it and pulling kids from all over the world. But this will give the West Coast kids an opportunity to be like, I do want to play hockey for the LA Kings rather than go to like, you know, Toronto or a major market. They can be like, I want to play for my hometown. You know, you see like an Austin Matthews going to Arizona in this trade deadline probably. Like he'll be shipped out of Toronto and go to Arizona like we want, right? But yeah, I thought it was really cool to see. It's great that they want to do exactly what the USHL has done. And the hardest part, I think, for being like a West Coast kid that wants to be, you know, good at hockey and develop and grow, is they have to make a life-changing decision by the time they're about 14 years old and decide, is this what I want to pursue? Because if I do, I'm going to have to go live with a billet family out in the Midwest or go to Canada and, live by, or even Europe and live by myself from the age of 14 and up. Like, that's crazy. That's a huge life-changing decision to make when you're not even,
an adult.
I wouldn't even say an adult. You're almost like not even like a kid yet.
Yeah.
14 years old, you're still fucking young. So it's good to see, and hopefully this will give a lot more opportunity to the West Coast kids to grow and develop.
I like where you went there. It's just so insane. I don't know if other sports do it. I'm sure they do, but for hockey, it's just, yeah, you're right. It's insane. Like, by the age of 12, 13, you should know if you're going to make college, that type of stuff. Like, at that age, you're already thinking, yeah, I'm going to play for Northeastern. Yeah, I'm going to play for BC. And, yeah, you're right. Like, 13, 14, you're just like, well, I'm going to say goodbye to my mom, and I'm going to move to another country or, like, the other side of the country, live with a family, and play a sport that I'm literally just doing just to better myself and try to progress into the professionals,
Yeah, and I think...
It's an insane mindset.
I think, like you asked, I think it's the only sport that's like that because the I guess, access to resources isn't as great when it comes to soccer or basketball. You need a ball, and there's nets, facilities, like basketball hoops everywhere. Like, you drive around the street, and you're like, holy shit. If you think about it, like, count the number of basketball courts you drive by in soccer fields. You know what I mean?
Right, yep.
And then baseball is like America's pastime, so that's been grown and developed throughout the country. With hockey, to get to, like, a better talent level, right, you need to go where the talent is. When it comes to basketball, like we just said with March Madness, the college program has grown. You can play anywhere across the country and have good, high-level basketball. Same thing with baseball being America's pastime and football, too. You know what I mean? So it's just hockey's a very niche market, like we said, with the 3Ms being the leaders and, north of the border. So I think that's why it's the way it is. But this should grow to change it.
I wonder how many ice rinks there are in, like, the West,
Yeah.
When I was on, when I'm on, like, goalie or just, like, hockey, like, forums or blogs or whatever, it's funny to see how, like, almost spoiled we are in Boston, where some guys talk about having to drive, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours to, like, the nearest rink. And I'm just like, oh, my nearest rink is, like, 10 minutes away from me. And I got, like, 50 other rinks within, like, half an hour, 45-minute drives from me. And they're just like, where do you live? I'm like, Boston.
Yeah. I found one little snippet here. It says there are 2,021 hockey rinks in the U.S. And, I mean, 2021, I think if you're going up and down 93 alone, which is the highway here, there's like 10 of them.
Yeah.
Just from like me to your house,
yeah.
you could find like 10 rinks, which is kind of nuts. So I'm gonna keep digging and see if I can find out how many are in like California and over here. We're
gonna go on a rabbit hole. Well, perfect segue, I guess, because we're gonna talk about a few players here that most likely did what we talked about. So before we get into NHL news, the WHL Regina Pats' Connor Bedard is not slowing down one bit. He became the first 16-year-old in 29 years to score 40 goals in a single WHL season. The last player to pass that mark was Jeff Friesen in 1992-93 with 45 goals in 70 games played. In 49 games played, he scored 40 goals, second in the league, 39 assists, and 79 points, which is tied for fourth. Right above Bedard is Ben King of the Red Deer Rebels, who is first in the league in goals. We're going to add Ben King to the list here. He's having a career-high season with 46 goals. 21 of them were scored on the power play. 45 assists and 91 points in 58 games played. Compared to last season where he had 12 goals and 16 assists, and the season before where he had 16 goals and 22 assists, Ben is on absolute fire. Who's also doing real well is his teammate Arshdeep Bains is tied with Ben in points with 91 with 33 goals and 58 assists in 58 games played. So be on the lookout for Ben King and Arshdeep Bains right next to Connor Bedard in the upcoming draft.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. Like guys like this, you can just see that they're head and shoulders above the talent level like that they're playing with, and at a certain point, you talked about it earlier, like. The kids that know that they're going to play in college and things like that, they know. Because they're just playing up their whole life. They're playing, they're U11, but they're playing with the U13s, U15s, and just playing up in age and bigger kids. So at a certain point, this guy's going to get drafted and just go right to the league, I think.
And guys just make it easy. Because, again, they're 2 steps, 3 steps above everyone else.
Yeah, that's just the way it goes, I think. I did find that California has 28 hockey rinks in the state, but that also includes all 3 of the NHL facilities. and probably three more practice rinks. It's probably counting too. So
nothing.
That's 22 across the entire state. California's a big ass state.
Yeah.
Massachusetts, I haven't really dug in, but I found 42 rinks are owned by the state. You know those DCR.
Yep.
So that's 42 that are owned by the state, and then there's a ton of private ones too.
There are other ones, yeah.
Yeah. So I would say we got probably at least statewide. I would say like 100 to 150 minimum.
Easily.
You know.
Easily.
So yeah, that limits your growth and development when you're in California. But
then the rink we're at for the Heroes Cup.
Yeah, that thing's huge, and that's
that
8
had like
rinks
8
in one.
rinks in one
that
building.
Place is awesome.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, but I mean that also doesn't take into consideration. I don't think the roller rinks in California, and I think that's where you see a lot of growth and development too. But it's entirely different mechanics. Did you know that rollerblades were actually invented to help people in the off season to practice skiing?
Really?
Yeah, they were supposed to be used to mimic skiing and not skating, like ice skates.
Interesting.
Isn't that funny? That's what they were initially made for. Now, obviously, we have like the Mars blade and stuff, and they're all getting more focused on roller hockey and ball hockey, all that stuff.
Want to go down another rabbit hole with the rollerblades?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Always.
All right. So I was going through my mom's stuff because I'm back to moving with my parents at the end of this month, and I found our old Sharks jersey from our
yeah, that was fun.
Rollerblade team.
That was great.
Want to tell everyone about that?
Yeah, so when I first started out, I mean, I was literally like learning how to skate. I was driving an hour to go play hockey in Saugus because I didn't realize that the rinks around here, they're everywhere, and you could just go skate wherever you want. I was like, this is where I have to go. So we would drive an hour up there and play, and I ended up
joined them.
I ended up getting the guys together and making a roller team because I played for my cousin's team. We ended up losing the championship in overtime on a bad line change. But it was really fun. I was like, this is great. We should do this. And I got my buddies together, and we were a hodgepodge kind of crew and didn't really know what the hell we were doing, and we were terrible. We sucked, but we had a good time, I think.
We were called the Sharks.
Yeah, and our jersey, they look like giant. I think we have them over there. I could probably throw one up next week for the listeners.
Yeah, we got we're like the bench warmers of like roller hockey.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
It was terrible. Everyone had like, oh god, we were the worst. But
yeah,
everyone had like these cool rollerblades. They look good. I'm like literally running around in like Timberland boots.
He's got the roller skates that are like the four wheels that are like a car instead of in a line, instead of inline skates. Not actually, but that'd be hilarious.
Oh god, we were terrible. They were like wearing like actual.
They were nasty though.
But there was
roller pants and stuff. Yeah.
I didn't realize how much like that like you needed. It's so different from ice hockey. So in a sense, I give it that.
Yeah.
But, like, summertime when we were playing there, dude, like, oh, my God.
So hot, right?
Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
The scumbags that ran it, too, like, ended up just not paying rent, closing the facility down, and just, like, took our money and ran. Remember that?
Piece
of
nuts,
shit. Man.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Because you came into work.
That was right around here, too. It was like Randolph,
too.
I think.
Something around there, yeah. Because I remember you coming into work, and we're like, are we getting our money back? And you're like, all right, here's the story. They just took the money and ran out. I'm like, motherfucker.
Here's the story. No.
Here's the story. No.
We are not getting our money back.
Yeah. Meanwhile, me and Chris are making like grocery store money.
Oh, yeah, brutal.
All that mattered, you know?
Yeah. Played half a season, though, and I mean, I don't know. We suck, so
we
it doesn't really
terrible.
matter. We were awful. I think we won a game. No, I don't think we won a game.
It was fun as hell, though, but it was just terrible.
Matt and I would alternate, too, and play out and then in net.
I actually totally forgot about it until I was digging through, like, I found like a hockey bag in the basement, and I was like, "The hell's in here?" And I found rollerblades. I'm like, "Oh, my old rollerblades!" And like right under him was that jersey, and I look at it, I'm like,
funny.
"Oh my god, I totally forgot."
So funny.
So let's get into actual NHL talk.
Yeah, real good hockey players, not us.
Yeah, I'm getting sad thinking about how terrible we were. So we're gonna get into some crazy stats here in the NHL. Toronto, I mean, we're going to go through a lot of crazy stats here. So the Toronto Maple Leafs have given up 57 goals in the past 14 games, going 7-7-0 in those 14 games, but remain third in their division. The Colorado Avalanche, Nazem Kadri, is setting a career high this season with 72 points in 56 games played, making him 8th in the league in points. Last season, he had 32 points in 56 games played. Remember we were just talking about Nazem Kadri last season on the podcast, telling him how great he was?
No, I think we focused more on him this season with the All-Star game, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, a couple episodes ago.
Got it.
But yeah, he's having a killer turnaround year. I believe he's on a contract year too, so I think his contract's up at the end of the season. He's going to get paid, make some good money. Either that or he's going to have to move on. Like Colorado's got a lot of All-Stars up there. But before we move on from Toronto too, I mean, 57 goals in 14 games. That's really only 4 goals a game, which isn't like, crazy bad. And sometimes those numbers get inflated when you have a game where you lose like 8-7. Yeah, 7-2, things like that. So 7-0 in 14 games. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think Toronto has that big, like, obviously goaltending's an issue, but they're putting the puck in the back of the net enough to make up for it. And I don't think it's as big as an issue as they think. I think Toronto fans just panic at any sign of weakness. They're like, we're going to lose in the first round. We're screwed. We're fucked. Yeah. We needed to do something.
Toronto is...
They're just mashing the panic button.
That Atlantic division is such in a weird spot where Florida Panthers are not moving from first. They are not moving. And then you have Tampa, who's just like stuck in second. And then you have Toronto Maple Leafs in third. And then the Boston Bruins are in fourth. And they're close to Toronto, but I don't think they're gonna catch up to Toronto. So it's just like it's such like a stuck standing,
Yeah, I think it is, and I feel like it was kind of like we talked earlier this season about Carolina and Florida, who actually have the same record right now, 41-14-6. So they have the exact same record, 2 different divisions, and they just couldn't make headway on each other because in their last 10 games played, every time it's the same, 6-3-1. They're just matching each other, and you see that all the way in the top 4 teams in the Atlantic as well. And I think that's why Detroit, the gap is so big, but they're obviously never going to catch. No. I mean, between the Panthers, Lightning, Maple Leafs, and Bruins, the 4 teams that are in the playoff, here are their last 10. 6-3-1, 6-4-0, 6-3-1, 7-2-1. You're not going to make any headway. You're not going to catch each other.
No.
You're sitting exactly where you sit. The point gap isn't that big, though. Like, the Toronto Maple Leafs are 1 point behind Tampa, so they could bump them down to third. But I think regardless, whoever makes it into that wild card slot, going up against Florida, Tampa, or Toronto,
you're done.
I would rather play Toronto out of those 3.
100%.
But it's going to be a battle. And even like in the other division too, the Penguins are really hot right now. The Rangers are out of nowhere playing out of their ass. Like that goaltender is unreal there. Carolina Hurricanes, obviously, like that's a fucking buzzsaw. And then the Capitals too. I mean, the East is so insanely stacked compared to the West.
Oh, 100%.
The West is kind of a nightmare. That's where we're at. That was a fucking tangent, but.
No, it's the tangent that I wanted, bud.
And so the Nashville Predators, Roman Josi too. He currently has 66 points, which is the most by a defenseman in a season, right? Or is that this season?
This season,
okay.
Yep.
He's on pace for 100 points, which would be the most by a defenseman in 30 years, which is insane. I don't think this guy gets enough credit. He's obviously one of the best defensemen in the league, but I think a point-scoring defenseman doesn't get as much attention unless you're young, like a Cale Makar and an Adam Fox. Think about how much we talk about those guys.
Yeah, right.
And Roman Josi has more points than both of them. So
that's insane.
Right? We haven't brought him up once, I feel like.
Once. At all. Until we started looking at statistics, and we were just like, oh, yeah, that's right. Roman Josi's up there.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a learning lesson, right?
I think it's part of being in a tough market in Nashville, too. It doesn't get the same spotlight that Colorado Avalanche at the top of the league does, and the New York Rangers, who have the one of the highest franchise values. So.
Right. And lastly, Florida Panthers Jumbo Joe Thornton made his return to San Jose this week, and not so much stats, but fun facts. The last time Joe played in San Jose as an opponent, get ready for this, Austin Matthews was 5 years old. Mario Lemieux was still playing pro hockey. Sidney Crosby was in 10th grade, and MySpace was the current popular social media platform back in 2002 when he was playing for the Boston Bruins. Damn, he's old.
Yeah, that's 20 years ago, man. That's wild.
That is insane.
It's kind of like one of those quirky facts, though, because like he's been off the San Jose roster for about 2 or 3 seasons now, I believe. And with COVID, he didn't end up playing against them or over in San Jose on Toronto, and now it's his first time back as a Florida Panther. So he got like a really cool, warm welcome. Like he's the face of that organization, man. Like if you think San Jose, I think Joe Thornton's the first name to come to mind.
I mean, we love him over here too. Joe is just like a lovable guy.
Yeah.
I want him to win the cup.
Yeah, he needs one, man. It's just I don't think he's going to stop till he gets one, and I hope he's one of those guys that goes out on top. Some of the guys like a Zdeno Chara, they're just sick puppies that just want to keep playing. Like if Chara were to win a cup this year, I bet he would be back next year and just wants to keep playing. But like Joe Thornton wins a cup, I want him to just be done. Like I want him to just be like I'm done. Like that's it. But he might still kick around,
Yeah, we want Joe to win.
Love of the game.
It's just like Ray Bourque here. Remember, he wanted toward the end of his career, we shipped him off to Colorado where he won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
great.
It's kind of a weird, dumb thing for him to bring the cup back here, but that's another story for another day. Bruins fans thought we got one.
Yeah,
No,
Colorado did.
Colorado got one.
So with stats come awards. So for the Calder Trophy so far, Detroit's Moritz Seider leads with 70 points. These are all, so when I talk points, it's all votes. So right now, Moritz Seider leads for the Calder Trophy with 70 points.
And I'm going to jump in too. The way the point system works, there's 15 NHL writers that vote on this, and they have 5 point totals to give away per person. So they can give away a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1 to whoever they want in the league. Yeah. So that's how these points are calculated.
Detroit's Lucas Raymond is second with 42 points, so it's cool to see 2 Red Wings players up there. Anaheim's Trevor Zegras with 41 points, and Toronto's Michael Bunting with 32 points for the Calder Trophy.
I'm going to jump into when you're done with Calder stuff.
I'm done.
The Red Wings actually announced today, too, which is crazy to me. They're open to offers for anyone on the team except for Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider, obviously. It's nuts to see the two of them on this list, but it's also nuts to me to think they would be willing to hear offers for, a Dylan Larkin and a Tyler Bertuzzi. But yeah, and
I never thought about that.
Right? Those are huge names on the team.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't even think about Dylan Larkin.
Yeah, he's a good captain. I mean, you would get a good bang for your buck there, but I don't understand why you would. And to add to Moritz Seider's stock in this, this race, this running for this trophy, did you see the highlight the other day when McDavid does his thing and he's bombing into the zone, he's coming in with speed, and he usually just goes wide, goes right around defenseman. Moritz Seider, man, doing everything he can and drives him wide, maintains the speed on his zone entry, and gets the stick on the puck and knocks it off, man.
It's unbelievable.
I don't
he
think
can do it all.
I don't think I've seen a highlight of anyone in the league ever do that, and he fucking does it. And this guy's brand new. This is the new age of defenseman, I think.
100%.
You got to build from the back out, like we say all the time, but I just thought it was a crazy highlight.
Just another name to look out for. Lucas Raymond, too. But, Moritz Seider, especially for Detroit. What a fucking pickup by Detroit.
I mean, look at the point gap. 70 points to 42 points, Seider over Raymond. That's insane. It's got to be Moritz Seider all day.
Oh, 100%. Moving on from that, for the Jack Adams Award, we have Calgary's Darryl Sutter. He leads with 55 points. Rangers' Gerard Gallant, and second with 39 points. Florida's Andrew Brunette with 29 points. Pittsburgh's Mike Sullivan with 26 points. And Carolina's Rod Brindamore with 24 points. I'm shocked Rod Brindamore is kind of on the bottom there. But kind of does make sense for Darryl Sutter to be really up there.
Darryl Sutter's definitely number one. He's getting the most out. Well, no, I'm sorry. He's doing so much for the Calgary organization in coming in. And I think it shows more, and you have more opportunity to win this award when you're coming from one team to another. And you really turn it around. Bruce Boudreau should probably have been on here with more votes, I would say, too. But look at the 5 names here. The only one that I don't really know is Andrew Brunette. And those other 4 coaches, I feel like they're always in the runnings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The reason I think Brindamore isn't higher up on the list is because of the team that he has and how consistently they are. But how consistently he's able to make them consistent. You know what I mean? He's always in the running. You don't even see John Cooper on here with Tampa Bay.
No.
You know what I mean? That's another guy that should absolutely be on this list. He's obviously got votes, and I'm sure Bruce Boudreau also does too. But these guys just head and shoulders. And in my opinion,
teams around,
Darryl Sutter is the standalone winner of this. But Gerard Gallant, man, what he's getting out of this New York Rangers team and the young goalie in Shesterkin, it's
unbelievable.
It's insane,
and
man.
we talked about this last week where we brought up the New York Rangers, and you're just dude, we don't talk about the New York Rangers enough on this,
Yeah, they came
really
out of nowhere.
Around.
Yeah, they came out of nowhere, I think. No one picked them at the beginning of the season. We kind of thought they were in the same boat as New Jersey with kind of a rebuild status,
Right. So for the Vezina, we have Rangers' Igor Shesterkin, who leads with 71 points. Calgary's Jacob Markstrom in second with 44 points. Carolina's Freddie Anderson with 39 points, and Tampa Bay's Andrei Vasilevsky with 38 points. I love seeing this, dude. Igor Shesterkin is just breaking headway in the NHL right now. It's insane to me how good Igor Shesterkin has been this season to push Jacob Markstrom to second in this. Who we just talked about, Jacob Markstrom and Dan Vladar being the best goalie tandem in the league in the beginning. And now here's Igor Shesterkin be nope, I'm going to take first.
Yeah, I also saw trade rumors for the Rangers to ship Alexander Georgiev, too, which would be insane to think about, right? But yeah, Shesterkin's head and shoulders above these guys. But, you can't go wrong with Shesterkin and Markstrom, I think. And, Freddie Anderson, the turnaround he's had, Andrei Vasilevsky just consistently. But I'm going to make a nice comparison here. I think Igor Shesterkin's going to be the next Carey Price. That's what I see when I watch him play. But
wow,
that's what I got here. Yeah.
Wow. Those are tough. Those are big words.
Yeah. Is it, though? What did Carey Price do in his career?
I feel like he's done a lot.
Yeah, no cup, though.
No cup, though. Oh, okay.
And I think Shesterkin might be following Lundqvist's footsteps, but who knows? I mean,
who knows?
I mean, the President's Trophy doesn't always mean that you win the Stanley Cup, and I feel like it never does. I want to actually find that out, too. I'm going to dive into that while you do this last one.
Okay. And so last one, and for the Hart Trophy, we have Florida's Jonathan Huberdeau. I'm going to do it. No, I won't do it this week. Should I do it? No.
No, don't do it.
Okay.
I hate it.
So Florida, Jonathan Huberdeau leads with 52 points. Rangers' Igor Shesterkin again in second with 44 points. Toronto's Austin Matthews with 41 points. And Edmonton's Connor McDavid with 34 points. We talked about this before we even started recording, that you didn't like Matthews and McDavid in this list.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're doing their thing, but I think those two teams, it's more of a team effort to get the teams to where they are. Like, it's not like, obviously Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid are game breakers. Like they're going to do what they're going to do. But when I think of the Hart Trophy, I think of the guys that have done so much for their team and really like paved the way for them to be where they are. And Igor Shesterkin comes to mind first, where he's completely like given the Rangers an opportunity to win here. Jonathan Huberdeau, just with how far ahead the Florida Panthers are in their standings in their division. A couple other names that we talked about last week that we said should probably be on there was Moritz Seider and Jason Robertson.
Yeah.
And I think the main reason they're not is because they're in the contention for the rookie award, who also we didn't see Jason Robertson even named. So
no.
It's kind of nuts to see that too.
Mm-hmm.
Just thought it was kind of weird. The last team, though, to win the President's Trophy and the Stanley Cup were the 2012-2013 Chicago Blackhawks.
Wow.
So,
okay.
like, the year that Tampa won the President's Trophy, they got bounced first round. Like, President's Trophy is kind of not the best thing you want. Like Sutter says, it's a regular season award, and, you got to look at the prize at the end of the tunnel,
right,
that
exactly.
one. So
it's the good job award,
Yeah.
But you didn't actually get it done,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it can be that you get it done, too. But
yep.
the dumbest one to me is the shirts that they sell when you win the Eastern Conference
Finals.
Yeah, you win the conference finals.
Why would you buy that?
Because right? You buy that shirt and your team goes to the Stanley Cup Finals, right? They win the Stanley Cup. You're gonna buy the Stanley Cup shirt. You don't need the conference finals one, right?
Yeah.
Or they won the Eastern Conference and they go to the Stanley Cup and they lose, and now you have a shirt that says, "We won our conference, but we didn't win the Stanley Cup." You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing in the world to me. I also do love the superstition of don't touch a trophy when they present it.
Yeah, I love that too.
I like to see what teams do. Teams do touch it, though. I'm like, that's nuts. That's bold. I don't know.
It's kind of funny.
I would never touch it, dude.
No. Don't step on the trophy. Don't step on the logo.
Don't step on the logo, yeah.
Remember that Justin Bieber stepped on the logo, and I remember that it was posted on Instagram, and the whole rack of comments are just like, dude.
He's become much more of a Toronto hockey fan and more of a hockey fan in general now. So it's pretty cool to see him actually understand and give a shit now. Back then, I think he was just doing it because I'm famous, I can go do whatever I want.
Yep.
And didn't realize, if you don't follow hockey that closely, you would never know not to step on the logo. I don't know if they do that in other locker rooms. I would assume, yeah.
I would assume, yeah.
But sure. I mean, think about a football locker room with almost 100 players in one big ass locker room. Are they really not going to step on the logo where there's 100 guys walking around? You know what I mean? That's a lot of work.
Yeah,
maybe they do, though. I don't know.
Maybe they do. I know that for hockey for sure.
100%, yeah.
So going along with the Florida Panthers here, they lead all NHL teams with 243 goals scored this season and are the only team averaging over 4 goals per game. They have scored at least 6 goals in a game 12 times this season, which is the most of any NHL team. They are the first team to have 5 different skaters score at least 20 goals. And back to what we're talking about with Sergei Bobrovsky, he ranks second among NHL goalies with 30 wins with a 36-3 record. He also leads all NHL goalies with 19 home wins with a 19-3-0 home record. They've had 5 hat tricks this season, which ties for the most of any NHL team, and the stats are just getting better and better for this Florida Panthers organization, and I feel like we just can't get enough.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm just looking at average goals per game for 2022. Obviously, you said the Florida Panthers only team 4.08. Colorado right behind him, 3.82, but it really starts to fall off there. Mm-hmm. But it looks like the league average is about 3. So if you think about that, if every team's putting up 3, that's a 3-3 game. or 6 goals per game. I think just scoring in general has gone way up, and I feel like you see a lot hot. Like the reason these numbers are inflated, I would say, is because of the high-scoring blowout games where you see like 9-1, 7-2.
Yep.
But I do think like 5-3 is becoming a more common NHL score, and that's like
we're seeing like big scores.
Yeah,
as of late.
but 5-3 doesn't really end up being big. Like if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
The game's 3-3, it's tied. You score the go-ahead goal, and then the other team pulls their goalie, and you get to put an empty net in, and that makes it a 5-3 game. You know.
Right.
But yeah, I just think it's nuts. Florida is like head and shoulders. Sergei Bobrovsky just turned his game around, getting that money this year and actually earning it and not riding the pine. We were talking Spencer Knight earlier too. I think he only has 11 games played. I think it said 7-4-0, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of weird.
He's really picked up the pace. Yeah.
Spencer Knight carried them last season, and it's kind of interesting to see the tides turn a little bit.
I mean, I was going to bring up Tristan Jarry because there was talk about the Penguins being interested in Marc-Andre Fleury before the trade deadline.
Yeah, people wanted that just to see them get the gang back together. Fleury, Crosby, Malkin, and like Letang. You know what I mean?
And it was like such a battle between Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith. Like 1 year, Casey DeSmith was a starter. The next year, Tristan Jarry. And now Tristan Jarry has really become that starter.
Mm-hmm.
And I got thinking about it today. Where just like, it wouldn't be too bad of an idea to pick up Fleury, have him starter / backup for Tristan Jarry, and put Casey DeSmith back down in the minors and just let him get some games in there. Let him grow a little,
I think the reason that I look at that and say it's a good idea is because it's a playoff idea, right? If Tristan Jarry starts shitting the bed, do you really want to rely on Casey DeSmith when you need another goalie to go to?
Nope.
You get Fleury in for this season. You get the gang all back together. The crowd loves it. Like, the camaraderie in the room grows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, Tristan Jarry now has, like, a safety net in Marc-Andre Fleury that can come in, be a goal stop, and then, I think it would give him a good shot at the cup. But
and if there's any team that Marc-Andre Fleury would want to retire in, I think it's going to be with the Penguins organization.
And I think regardless of what happens, he's going to do a one-day contract and end up retiring through the organization and hopefully working there. That'd be kind of cool down the line to see.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I just realized as I said it, I think I've said 100% about 1,000 times on this episode. So
100%.
100%. So I got to calm down with that.
100%.
Know where I got that from? I don't know if anyone here watches it. 2 Bears, 1 Cave with Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer always goes 100%, and now it's just like stuck in my head.
Jesus Christ.
So here we are.
Tom Segura is actually playing a comedy show in town.
Recently?
Soon, I think, at the Wilbur. There's a lot of comedy shows popping up now. I'm not a big stand-up comedy guy. Like, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you if Tom Segura was in the same room with me right now. I wouldn't know who he was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I don't keep up with all that, but there were a ton of shows opening up, a lot of concerts and shit too. So it's good to see. But just thought I'd chime in with that.
That's awesome. I want to go. We should go see him. I
Yeah.
fucking love him. So moving on from amazing to doing better. The Arizona Coyotes for the month of March, led the league in goals with 37 through 7 games, which is an average of 5.29 goals per game. Nick Schmaltz leads the league this month with 17 points, which is 7 goals and 10 assists. And Clayton Keller is on a 7-game point streak, which is tied for the 3rd longest active streak in the NHL. Lawson Crouse is breaking out with his first career hat trick that came on March 14th against Ottawa. Lawson Crouse is having the best season he's had with the Coyotes since being called up in 2018. He's got 19 goals, 13 assists, and 32 points in 59 games this season, and is second in goals for the Coyotes right behind Clayton Keller. And this fucking Clayton Keller kid leads the team in goals with 26, leads the team in assists with 34, and leads the team in points with 60. The closest player that can compare to him is Nick Schmaltz, who's 3rd in goals with 18, 2nd in assists and 24, and 2nd in points with 24. Goddamn.
Yeah, this Arizona lineup is wild to me, right? You have Clayton Keller and Nick Schmaltz on the top line. Galchenyuk's there. I did not know that. Riley Nash and Phil Kessel on the second line. Like, I didn't think Phil Kessel was a second line kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought first line.
Ready for this one too? Nick Ritchie and Louis Eriksson on the third line. I didn't know that. And this guy Lawson Crouse that you're bringing up, he plays on the bottom line with Christian Fischer, and he's still putting up all those points. Like,
it's nuts.
I kind of thought when you started talking about it, I hadn't heard of Lawson Crouse before. I kind of thought that he would be on like the top two lines, and that's why he's getting this kind of production, because they're pairing him with a guy like Phil Kessel or someone that can put the puck on his stick. But that's awesome to see fourth line production like that from the Arizona Coyotes. Like, obviously nothing's going to happen this season, but it's good to see them turn it around a little bit. 7-3-0 in their last 10, 20-36 record, so not too great.
Not too great.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That's
but
a
coming
good little
up,
dive.
Especially for the month of March and just players, just in general, And like what you said with Spotlight and everything, you don't really start noticing it until like they're really in the spotlight. And then, I was watching a few games, highlights and games for the Arizona Coyotes because I just like watching games around the league, and especially Krause and Keller.
Clayton Keller's awesome. I can't believe they moved on from Connor Garland last season. Sending him to Vancouver was mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
I thought him and Keller were going to be like the future of the organization. And then they moved both their goalies too. Like, it's nuts. This Vejmelka guy's been pretty good though.
Yeah, he's been absolutely solid as of late. I actually love watching him. It's kind of funny watching him because you're just like, here's this new goalie just got thrown into the league, and then like the beginning he just getting lit up and just figuring things out, and now he's like, okay, I kind of figured out how to play with this team. He's worked touch, like how like he positions himself, how he moves, and you could see the difference he's made with the team.
I'd like to see the numbers on how many shots on goal they allow on the Arizona Coyotes. They're probably one of the top teams in the league because I feel like they just get hammered in the zone and they end up putting up like 50, 60 shots against,
Right.
So.
Why do we put that down on the list? Kind of want to talk about Veg, or at least look him up, look more into him, Vejmelka.
Yeah.
So moving on from that, we have Sergachev given the business. Mikhail Sergachev, after absolutely ragdolling Oilers' Josh Archibald, was sent to the penalty box. Oilers fans weren't letting him off easy and started giving him shit while he was in the box, and it hit a breaking point. Sergachev held up two fingers saying 2 Stanley Cups. 2 cups I won here, and if that response isn't a shut-up bomb, I don't know what is.
Yeah. I think he said 2 cups, but he won one of them here because the bubble was in Edmonton when they ended up winning there.
Yep.
So one of the 2 cups that he won with Tampa Bay was there. Savage move, man.
Savage.
I expected to see like back in the day, like the 90s clip of the guy going over the glass and accidentally falling in the penalty box and just getting buried by the player. I expect to see some shit. Maybe squirt some water at a fan or something, But that was funny. 2 cups in your face.
Moving on from that, we're going to go back to your Dylan Larkin. So Dylan Larkin gets a free stick. Referee Dean Morton reffed his 1,005th and last NHL game before retiring. The game was between the Detroit Red Wings and the Calgary Flames. The Flames beat the Red Wings 3-0, which gave Jacob Markstrom his 9th shutout of the season that game. After the game, players from both teams lined up to congratulate and shake hands with referee Dean Morton on his career. In the line was Red Wings Dylan Larkin and Flames Johnny Gaudreau. Gaudreau was behind Larkin and was cup checking him and messing him around with Larkin. And Larkin wasn't having it and was seen forcibly grabbing and ripping Gaudreau's stick out of his hand before shaking hands with Morton and skating away. I love that because Gaudreau is just the angle and everyone like holding their stick and like shaking hands, and here comes Gaudreau with like no stick at all. Be like,
Yeah. On the broadcast, it was funny too. They said they didn't want to point out the fact that he was getting cup checked, and they were like, "Oh, looks like Dylan Larkin's taking a free stick, just like he just took it from him for no reason." But it's cool to see. Like, I'm pretty sure I haven't looked into it. I tried to find something, but I couldn't. I'm pretty sure Gaudreau and Dylan Larkin had played together on some of the programs growing up. They're about the same age. Gaudreau's from out this way. I don't think Dylan Larkin's from out here, but I thought it was pretty funny to see. And apparently, this is happening quite a bit with the both teams lining up to shake referees' hands for their games. Like, some of them have hit their 1,000th game or retirement ceremonies and stuff. So it's weird to see them all intermingle and get in line all together like that.
And don't like it at the same time because I get Gaudreau's thing was just funny. He's kind of just fucking with Larkin, but like, say if like end of the game it gets kind of scrummy and stuff, and now you got both teams like combined with each other and like shit talking still going,
Yeah, it could. I mean, I don't think it's like the old days where like you'll see bullshit happen, but come playoff times you won't be seeing anything like that. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
When you initially wrote this, I saw free stick, and it made me think of this is like this pisses me off personally. Like, I get it, it's kids, but this is where my mind went when it came to free sticks. All these fans showing up to games with signs like, "Oh, rock paper scissors, I'll give you candy. Blah, blah, I just want free stick, free puck, free this, free that."
It's getting
like,
out of hand.
It is like everyone's showing up at the glass with a sign. I'm like, this is getting stupid, dude. Quit begging for shit. I don't know. I think it's cute and it's cool when like a kid gets it, but it's like when you see the entire like arena is lined with signs about "I want your stick, I want your puck."
Yeah.
You know,
we're gonna see hockey players just like play with their feet, you know, because all their sticks are in the stands.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So I don't know. That's just what I thought.
Game puck, cool as
Puck's
shit.
easy, yeah.
You know,
the game pucks are really cool. I don't know if they use them in the game or if they're just warm ups, but they usually have the two teams, the date, and like where it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. It looks
nice
really
looking.
nice.
Yeah,
cool little thing to save.
Moving off. So this is going to be our last thing we're going to talk about tonight, unless you have anything else.
I got a couple more things that I missed.
Cool.
But
So let's go to the last thing that I have. We got good guy PK Subban. I got to kind of cut him some slack because I feel like the past maybe 5 episodes we keep calling him Sluban.
Yeah, we're roasting him.
Yeah, we're going to be roasting him here. Can't roast him on this. The New Jersey Devils defenseman and the PK Subban Foundation will match donations made to the Montreal Children's Hospital in support of Ukrainian children with cancer arriving in Montreal for treatment. The PK Subban Foundation started in 2014 to help families who are affected by illness. PK's recent pledge resulted in a $10 million donation to the Montreal Children's Hospital. The hospital showed their gratitude and named the newly renovated atrium after him where he continues to visit to this day. If you'd like to donate to his foundation, go to pksuban.com/pksf. And if you'd like to donate to the Montreal Children's Hospital, go to thechildren.com/donate. This is awesome. This is like the main thing. I wouldn't say main thing, but this is like a big thing I wanted in this podcast and to promote. I think it's just awesome to see PK Subban do this.
Yeah, he's a huge humanitarian effort guy. Like he's a piece of shit on the ice, but the guy's really is like the best class act in the league. Yeah. And the thing that surprised me the most, man, he's been nominated for the King Clancy Award 3 times, which is charitable donations making an impact in your community off the ice. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't won it yet, man. Like he's been doing this since like day one in the league. I feel like, like a lot of the guys in the league do it, but I don't think anyone does it on a consistent basis and as well as PK does all around. And it's kind of nuts to me to see he's doing this all for Montreal when he's on the New Jersey Devils. Now, you know what I mean?
Yep, exactly.
So I think it's awesome. PK's great, great guy off the ice. Mm-hmm. On the ice, I fucking hate him, but that's part of his shtick, man. He's doing his job.
On ice, he's PK Sluban. Off ice, he's PK Subban.
I did have a couple side notes here. We'll stay in the NHL for a minute. Did you see that New York Islanders, New York Rangers game? That Sorokin paddle save was unreal, dude. You saw that?
God, yeah, he said that to me. He just dove out.
Yeah, so it was a great pass by Panarin over, and he overcommitted to the left side as he should have. The pass makes it all the way back, and he basically like kicks his legs out and falls backwards. Paddle hits the ice, and he has it like sealed off, but he realizes he's going to lift it, and he lifts the paddle up a little, goes off the stick and under him and back out, dude. It was insane. And that was to keep the game tied 0-0 early on. So. Sorokin coming up big there. I think that game went to shootout. And did you say who scored a great breakaway? TJ Oshie, right?
TJ Oshie.
Oh no, that's a different game, obviously.
That was a different game.
But same thing. I think that was Rangers Washington that Oshie scored a nice shootout goal. Because I don't even know if that Rangers Islanders game went to a shootout. But when you texted me, you said it was about a different post, I think. But you said TJ Oshie scored a nice shootout goal.
If you want to keep going, I could probably find it.
The only other thing I have in the NHL is the Boston-Minnesota game this week was awesome to see. Nick Foligno and his brother are playing against each other, Marcus, on the Wild. Foligno had his 1,000th game played in 15 season. His father, Mike Foligno, obviously, played 1,018 games in 15 seasons as well. And they're the second father and son combo to play 1,000 games after Bobby and Brett Hull did it. His brother, Marcus, also has 659 game played. So,
damn.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool. The Folignos are great around the league. Like, they really stand people up, stick up for their team, and, kick some ass. So I thought that was pretty cool to see.
As for what I said, here we go. Yeah, TJ Oshie. As soon as you finished, TJ Oshie, I said had a nasty shootout goal too, with zero reference of like what I was talking about. So,
well, that's because I blast you with a million posts, and like 90% of them are memes. And I realized this week, I'm like, dude, I got to stop sending Matt memes. Like, it's funny and all, they're great. We all laugh, but like, I just fill your inbox with memes, and like I think at that point you just like stop looking at them, and then I like show you all the shit when you come here. You know what I mean?
Because I come here and you're just like, dude, you see this meme? I'm like, no, because I'm scrolling for like actual hockey.
Yeah,
posts, you know?
Yeah, 100%. So I'm gonna relax a little bit on those. Last thing I had outside of the league in the NHL. So in the ECHL. A couple weeks ago, we talked about a team doing purple ice. I think it was for Hockey Fights Cancer Night.
Oh, yeah.
The Reading Royals of the ECHL dyed their ice green for St. Patrick's Day. I thought it was pretty cool to see. What did you think?
I liked it.
Did you see how they did the blue line, though? They left, like, the blue line in, like, a little bit of white so that the refs could see.
Oh, okay.
Whereas, like, with the purple, like, it was kind of all the same.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Just reminded me of Chicago doing the... What's that river called anyway? But they dyed it green.
Yeah.
And it's actually a pretty cool sky view of it. We're just like, because the river runs through the city, like middle of the city, and it's all green.
It's a perfect day of the year if you're a major corporation to just dump shit in the river. Just anything you have radioactive, good to go, dude. It's already bright green. We'll be all right.
We'll take
get away with whatever you want, you know.
Oil, anything, just dump it.
But yeah, it is pretty cool to see that. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I got to celebrate last night. I'm not going to be drinking at all this weekend, other than this one shot, I think. Had my fun.
Yeah, I felt it after you that.
Yeah.
Like part of you died.
You came over today. Had to wake me up again. I was napping upstairs.
I got in. Your wife was on the porch, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she just looks at me and goes, "He's asleep upstairs." And I was like, and she's like, "Wake him up." I'm like, "Okay."
That's hilarious.
But here we are. It's 11:32. My phone has not blown up, by the way. As we were recording, I keep looking for like NHL news and stats and stuff, and like try to find like, you know, some trade, especially trades, but nothing yet. So yeah, I think you're right. We're a Sunday night's gonna be that night where it's just gonna really start to blow up.
Yeah, the last thing I have, I just pulled up the official NHL trade tracker for the deadline. The last one we have is the Brandon Hagel trade that happened earlier today, Tampa Bay and Chicago. So no updates. I was kind of hoping for some breaking news while we record,
something cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. I was gonna say maybe if you see anything good that you want to add before the podcast gets dropped, if there's any good trades, but probably not. I think it's better to just tackle it together next week.
Yeah, we'll just tackle it together next week. So the next episode will be everything we missed.
Yeah. I also mentioned to you before we started too. There's only about 20 games left this season too. We're getting close here.
Crazy how fast that went.
It's kind of boring to me in the sense that the playoffs the picture's almost kind of set. You know what I mean? There's really only like 3 or 4 teams that are fighting for a wild card spot. Kind of sucks. Like the East is almost like entirely set. It's wild.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. We're just like nothing's moving, you know?
Yeah.
But maybe the West. We talked about the West where LA Kings have really come out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, I think it was pretty easy to climb in that division though, you know what I mean?
It's
Those
really
guys
easy.
are getting the shit kicked out of them. I do like Cal Peterson though on LA. He's playing really well. I like him.
Yeah. I'll add that to the list too, Fudge Milka and Cal Peterson, because there's a story on Cal Peterson that
Chuck Quick on there too. I want to see what he's up to. Is he fucking dead? Injured? Guy's always injured.
No, he's been playing.
Yeah.
But Cal Peterson's
sometimes he's been playing.
All right, let's finish off this actual St. Patty's Day episode. We did
a Caramel.
We did a St. Patty's Day episode last week.
Yeah, we didn't want to drop it for you guys, after the holiday. So, cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Oh God.
Soko Caramel.
That wasn't that bad.
No, I've grown accustomed to it. We only have a little bit left, and I just can't wait to be done with it, man. But
we're starting to get grown accustomed to just awful.
No more Four Loko pre-games. I got to get you the Sour Blue Raz one this week. I'll have that for you next week.
So your Four Loko lemonade that I had on here, I left it over at our friend Tommy's house, and I purposely left with just leaving it on his table, thinking maybe one day these guys will just look at it and be like, we should drink it. And we're there Wednesday, and it's still sitting there.
Yeah. Did he say anything about it or no?
Nope, and I didn't say anything either, so I just
one week he's going to be like, bro, you got to take this. Get this shit out of my house.
Or completely forget that I even left it there and be like, whose is this? And he'd be like, I don't know, it's not me.
That's hilarious, yeah. Just fucking turn your head. Duck.
Wasn't me.
Oh, shit.
But with that said, want to call us out?
Thanks, everyone, for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover next episode, let us know. Our links are in the description, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye, guys.
Peace.